If you live here in the United States and you have filled up at the gas pump recently, you've probably noticed a slight drop in gasoline prices over the record highs of last week. Are prices going to continue to drop or rise even higher and put an even greater squeeze on our pocketbooks? And who's to blame for skyrocketing prices here on the home front? Putin or Joe Biden? Well, here to share some insights is Consumer Energy Alliance Vice President of State Affairs, Kevin Doyle. Kevin, it's good to talk to you and have you on the program with us. So tell me, we've seen this slight dip in gasoline prices over last week. So what do you expect is going to happen? Are they going to go up or down here in the future?
No, thanks, Gary, for having me. It's a great question, and well, I think you're going to see some fluctuations over the coming weeks, depending as we hear updates on whether or not there might be a ceasefire or different arrangements, over there in the conflict. But at the end of the day, we're still significantly higher from just over a year ago, over $1 a gallon higher, depending on where you go. Some places are still looking at $5, $6 a gallon. So I think you're going to see prices kind of do this little slight fluctuations here and there, but we're still a lot higher than we need to be right now.
So overall, you think we're going to keep creeping up then?
I think as long as we, restrict what we can do here domestically in the United States, what we could definitely be helping everyone's cause, families, small businesses, consumers, but for the short term, I think unfortunately we're going to stay in the higher end of gas prices.
Okay, so what would a cessation of hostilities in the Ukraine conflict mean for the price of oil worldwide?
I think, well, it depends too on some of the sanctions that are being put on Russia as well. They do supply a significant amount of energy to Western Europe. And that's, again, just it demonstrates that, why is Western Europe and our allies having to go to places that don't like us as much to get their energy when we can definitely develop our own energy here? We have resources, we can do it cleanly, we get the best environmental standards in the world, and we have the resources and that create the jobs here instead of spending money elsewhere. So I definitely think prices are going to be, that there might be a fluctuation here and there still, even with a ceasefire or some sort of arrangement over in Ukraine. But we're on the sidelines here in the United States, and we have a lot of abilities to play in this market and to create jobs and develop our own energy right here in the U.S.
Okay, Kevin, let's explore that a little further. So who is to blame for this big jump? Is it Putin or Joe Biden?
Prior to the invasion happening a few weeks ago, prices still in the United States were going up over $1, $1.50 a gallon, depending on where you are in the country. So this administration has failed to unleash the great resources of our energy industry here in the U.S. By restricting leases, by restricting pipelines, by not investing in infrastructure, by importing Russian oil and gas. I think the administration here can help the world, can help America a lot if we just unleash the potential we could do here domestically.
Kevin, I've got to ask you about reports that are now circulating on social media that Gazprom, the Russian oil company, has actually given money to environmental NGOs to use them, I guess, to stop their competition from doing things like nuclear energy, maybe shale oil and natural gas, things like that, which definitely, they put pressure on the politicians, and then things are shut down here in the U.S. So what do you think of that?
No, it's unfortunate. It's another example of why do we continue to go to places that don't like us, that don't see things the way we see things, trying to restrict the way we do things. It's seeing how the Russians are treating the Ukrainians right now, seeing some of the pressure campaigns they're doing. It's just a reminder that we can do this here. Why do we need to listen to Russia and Vladimir Putin and places that don't like us as much when we can do that here without the same sort of pressures and some of the campaigns against us? And it's just another example of why it's so important that we could be self-sufficient here in the United States.
It's hard to believe, isn't it, that the actual groups that are fighting against fossil fuels are taking money from one of the biggest fossil fuel producers in the world. Isn't that amazing? Did that surprise you?
No, I mean, if some of those reports are true that it's happening, seeing some of the Russian propaganda machine in this war, It's definitely, again, it just reinforces the fact that we can't trust places like Russia to get our energy. The world can't trust places like Russia to get their energy. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, all of our allies, we can create our own domestic energy here in the United States to help all of our allies and get them off Russian fuel, because it just helps everybody, helps our economy, helps our people, helps America.
And Kevin, quickly, what do you expect is going to happen this summer as people start traveling for vacation and so forth? Prices going to go up?
No, it's interesting. It's a good question, because typically over the summertime, people are traveling, going on vacation, like you said, off school. Prices do typically go up a little bit anyway. So you add the uncertainty what's going on in Russia. You add the fact that we aren't producing energy here in the United States like we can. I think, unfortunately, unless things change in the administration and also change what's going on with Russia, I think American families are going to see probably a continued increase in prices over the coming months.
Okay, Kevin Doyle, Vice President of the Consumer Energy Alliance. Thank you so much, Kevin. We appreciate your insights.
Great. Thank you so much, Gary.